Earlier on, you were talking about beliefs, which is very prominent at the moment to me. They say from the time a child's born until the time it's 6 years old, the personality of that child is developed for the rest of its life. And me personally, the worst things I've learnt in terms of racism have come from my schooling, my church going, in the world we're living in today. Do you continue to gather information that is new from that time onwards, or is it set? And if so, if the consciousness is set between birth and 6, when those patterns are so ingrained and stubborn, when you know something's wrong, but you find yourself to be doing it anyway, how do you catch that, and how do you collapse that thought pattern, even if it's negative towards yourself and what you've been told, to make that go away so your karma and your pattern doesn't keep repeating into your adulthood? Thank you.
这样的，你刚才提的问题是非常有意义的，因为不管是我们每一个孩子，他1到6岁呢，对一个他将来的这个对他的记忆当中，就是最重要的一个成熟。所以现在很多人就是像我们这个国内的话呢，就是叫幼儿园，就是6岁之前读幼儿园，但6岁之前的这个习惯，就是对他来讲就是一个非常根深蒂固的事。像我们的话，以前在家里就是没有读过书，没有读书，但是这个时候的父母的这种所有的行为呢，就是对他一生当中还是非常重要的一种行为。所以如果在他的这个童年时代，就是如果有一些种族歧视啊，或者说是有一些虐待，就是这样的话，确实是对他的一生当中就构成了一个很难以改变的一种行为。因为有家庭这个就是这种暴打，就是那种虐待这样的这个行为呢，孩子从小都是在他的这种印象当中，就是也是要么是一种恐惧，要么是一种看不起别人的，就是这样的一种行为。所以说是我们可能对孩子的从小的这个成长和他的教育环境呢，还是很重要的。以前古人当中有一个叫孟子，就是孟子他的话呢，就是他为了他的这个学习呢，为了他母亲他的孩子呢，就是他都搬了很多次家，就是有开始的是搬到那个就坟墓那里，然后害怕受到他的影响，有他的搬到这个就学校那里等等。先把这个翻译一下。
I think you've asked a very meaningful question, because I think children at the age from the age of 0 to 6, that period of time is crucial. In China, that's the age children would go to kindergartens, and that's the time they would build their habits. They would have the kind of and those habits would follow them for a very long period of time. Those are very deep-rooted habits. I myself, when I was at that age, in fact, I didn't go to school, and most of the influence from that time were from my parents, from the actions of my parents, the teachings that's embodied by my parents. So children at that time who faced racism or who were abused, they definitely would be marked by this kind of unchangeable behavior, unchangeable character for their whole life. And maybe that could make this person's personality really fearful or have lots of arrogance in this arrogant personality. So I think the environment, the circumstances, the conditions of children's growth at a young age is crucial. In China, we have this story of Meng Zi. Meng Zi's mother actually moved their home for 7 times so that she could find the best environment for Meng Zi to grow up, just as they moved from cemetery to different places. So this is the first portion of the answer.
所以，我的建议呢，现在我是比较担心，因为不知道这边的情况怎么样。就是像我们那里的，不管藏族人还是其他人的话，他们5、6岁的孩子呢，整天的在玩那个手机啊，就是看什么这个哈利波特啊，就是看狮子王啊，就是这些各种各样的那种动画片。然后他有些这个动画片里面的话，就有暴力啊、色情啊，有各种，反正不是很健康的，然后对他的成长就是有很大的影响。然后我们建议的话呢，就是经常如果父母有信仰的话，到那个教堂啊，就是到做一些慈善公益啊，这样的话逐渐就是对孩子潜移，虽然他直接不能做什么，但是从小的，包括16岁之前的话，其实如果带他去一些比较对他的人生健康成长有意义的场合去的话呢，慢慢就是他长大之后，他会像妈妈带我就是去过什么地方，就是他有一种非常这个容易成熟的一种，其实这是对将来他的一个最好的一种改变方式。
Sometimes I worry for the children nowadays in this age, because around age 5 to 6 and those young children are very proficient at playing with cell phones and watch cartoons such as Harry Potter and Lion King, and even some of the cartoons and games that's violent and unhealthy. So it definitely so all of those factors definitely have negative effects towards their growth. I would suggest parents nowadays should really raise their children by taking them to participating in different charitable activities, to practice in philanthropic activities, so that the children, when they do grow up, they would have this kind of memory of that they did something very meaningful. They would be immersed in that kind of mentality, and that could change their behavior pattern.
Thank you very, very much, both of you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kempala, and thank you for all those who asked questions. I'm sure we all learned something from them. Kempa, I think we'll all go home and look at this wild horse of a mind that we have and see if we can rein it in. We thank you all for being here, and we invite you, and we'd love you to join us for some tea and delicious refreshments upstairs. Please join us. You will get another chance to speak to Kempa. Thank you, everybody, and thanks for your beautiful translation, Wayne.